A beautiful, clean river doesn't start here. It starts here. What we put down our storm drains goes straight from our streets into our local creeks. Simple changes can make a big impact. Like when you wash your car, the best solution is washing at a professional car wash. But if you wash at home, divert wash water to an area where it can soak into the ground, like a planter strip. Also, empty your bucket of dirty wash water in a sink. The wash water will make its way to the treatment plant, where it is cleaned. You probably know how to pick up your pet's poop when you're out on a walk. After all, it's the neighborly thing to do. But what about the pet waste in your backyard? Pick it up regularly, and especially before rain or irrigation water washes any of it into a backyard drain. Your pet's poo is full of bacteria and nutrients that can contaminate our creeks. Scoop the poo, bag it, and put it in your garbage. When tending to your yard or garden, check the weather and prevent over-irrigation. Runoff of fertilizer, herbicides, landscape materials, compost piles, and leaf debris pollute our creeks. Remember, timing is everything. Pick up any litter or trash that may get into the streets. If you grab it before water or wind arrives, it doesn't have a chance of ending up in our creeks. It's up to each of us to take care of our creeks and rivers. They're ours to protect. Find out more at streetstocreeks.org.
The Mendocino County Local Agency Formation Committee meeting of Monday, November 3rd. Call the meeting to order and invite the clerk to conduct roll call.
Thank you. Good morning. Commissioner Roden? Commissioner Mahoney?
Here.
Commissioner Horsley?
Here.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Present.
Commissioner Klein?
Present.
Commissioner Ward?
Here.
Commissioner Hashik? Commissioner Gasca? Commissioner Crane? And Chair Mulhern.
Here. Thank you. At this time, I will call for item number 2, the public expression. The Commission welcomes participation in the LAFCO meeting. Any person may address the Commission on any subject within the jurisdiction of LAFCO, which is not on the agenda. There is a 3-minute limit and no action will be taken at this meeting. Are there any members of the public that wish to come forward with public expression in the room?
I see I'm not going to get trampled get to the podium, so I have a handout for the... Good morning, my name's Lee Howard, 3900 Parducci Road, Ukiah. And I give you a handout. That I'm not here to speak to that, I just wanted you to have the information. I'm here to talk about process and how it goes. Over the years, I've been involved in this process, as some of you know. I date back to Dan Garvin and Mary Hyatt and Frank McMichaels. And I've had conversations with all those people regarding the issue. And again, I'm not talking to the issue of Redwood Valley or the flood control district. I'm talking to the issue of process. And I always understood the process from all of them that LAFCO made the decisions. It appears now that that isn't happening in this case. From what I can understand, that the executive officer has at least given an opinion that a negative deck is plenty good and adequate, and that she moved through that process. I went back and looked at depth at your minutes, and I didn't find any agenda item or discussion at this point in time about whether you're going to do a negative deck or not do a negative deck or get involved in that. But from questions asked of your executive officer, it seems like that they've already had the discussion with the flood control district, made the determination that a negative deck is adequate. I really question that, and I say that because it appears that there's only really two ways that that could have happened. In my opinion, is one, the executive officer met and visited with you guys, and you came up to a conclusion that a negative deck would be adequate, which would definitely be a Brown Act violation. And of course, there's cure and corrects for that. The other way is the executive officer has become an administrator like a lot of other administrators around this, and they think that they know more than anybody else. They can do it their way, and it gets done. It's wrong. It doesn't give any transparency to the public. It doesn't give any transparency for long-term records. And until that discussion occurs, it is premature for LAFCO to butt into this thing and say that, oh, we think it's all good and fine. March ahead.
Thank you,
with
Mr. Howard. Your 3 minutes are up.
Thank you. You really care.
Thank you for your time. There are no members of the public on Zoom, so we can move on to item 3. Item 3A is AB 2449, notifications and considerations. And the Commission will consider Commissioner Mahoney's request to participate via video conference under the emergency circumstance per government section 54953 and Mendocino LAFCO's policy 3811. Commissioner Mahoney, did you have anything to add or?
No, I just am happy to be here by Zoom.
Are there any commissioners that object to Commissioner Mahoney's participation via Zoom today? Okay, seeing none. We'll move on to item number 4, the consent calendar. We have on the consent calendar the September 8th, 2025 regular meeting summary, the September claims and financial report, the October claims and financial report, a legislative letter of support for SB 858, and ratification of an administrative approval for outside agency service agreement with the City of Fort Bragg to extend sewer services to APN 020488018. Are there any commissioners that have questions or comments on any of these items? Commissioner Horsley?
On page 11, I think I've asked this before, so this time I'm going to try and remember. The GIS services, is that an annual dollars for September, or that?
We're billed monthly for the GIS services.
And the GIS services consist of?
It is, it's sporadic, so they do mapping for us for our municipal service reviews. I think in this case, they were doing mapping for our upcoming fire services MSR. They also assist us with requests for APN lists, et cetera, for applications, and that time we will, in the future, we'll be billing to applications themselves.
Okay, that makes total sense. Thank you. And then page 12, I spoke to our director about this. I didn't understand the difference between actuals and available budget, and she suggested making available into remaining budget. If that's okay with everyone. Sorry, I'm just kind of, it was confusing to me. So, it looks like everybody agrees that that would be okay. Okay.
Wait, can you, I'm just curious why? I don't understand. Curious. I don't object. What's the difference in the, like, what is the meaning? How are the meanings, how do they differ?
Pardon?
So available is what's remaining, but you're just saying you prefer the word remaining.
Well, it's just the comparison with the blue, which is the actuals,
Right.
and then available budget.
Uh-huh.
I felt like it was confusing between the two.
Uh-huh.
And if it was remaining budget, that would really clarify. Otherwise, yes, I would say it'd be fine,
Mm-hmm.
but it's because of the actual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe it's just me.
Yeah,
but-
no, I looked at it for a long time.
Okay.
But I didn't, it's fine, totally fine.
And then on page 14, under
Excuse me?
Mr. Weaver, it's not time for public comment yet, and I'll be able to call on you when we have time for, did you have a?
Very well.
Thank you.
on page 14, under Russian River flood control, here it's showing a negative $412.50 in the far right column. Is that reimbursed to us later on, or?
It is. So this was the September claims, and on the October claims, you'll see that that is zeroed out. They submitted their application, and so with their application, we requested that amount to be added to their deposit, which they did do.
Okay, I
So-
did see that it jumped up, so,
Okay.
okay, I just didn't, all right, wanted to understand how that worked, okay. And then on page 42, I think, is that still, no, that's something else. That's it, thank you.
Commissioner Ward, and just a reminder, if any commissioners would like me to call on them, if they could, please use the highlighter to indicate that you have questions or comments. I appreciate that.
Regarding 4D, the legislative letter of support, can you just get a little more background on that letter? I didn't quite understand what was going on there.
Sure. So back in, I think it was August or our September agenda, we had a support letter for this omnibus bill. And when it came time for the governor to consider it for signature, CALAFCO requested that we provide an additional support letter. So that's what this is. So it's a request to the governor for signature of that bill.
Okay.
Shoot.
And regarding the claims, I noticed there was lots of claims this month. Thank you. It was quite a lot to go through. But the rent goes up and down. And I don't understand. It was like in September, it was only $300 and some dollars. Another month was $700. Another month is $600. Why is it? I know there's the $30 a month, but it should be pretty consistent. Why was it so low in September? We
So
overpaid?
the billing changed from the Ukiah Valley Conference Center doing the billing directly to the city of Ukiah doing the billing. And during that time, they discovered that the first 6 months of the year, they had not transitioned to the new billing. And so they
Okay.
did some retroactive billing, and
Now I
then,
remember.
yeah. So it's $608 a month.
And then regarding 4E, for the Fort Bragg Extension Sewer Services, I've read somewhere there was going to be a charge of $1,000 for our service. Is that true?
We requested a deposit of $1,000 to process the application.
And did that get paid?
Yes.
And with regard to that, what if it never gets annexed? What happens?
The consent to annex form that is signed and notarized by the property owner is recorded with the county recorder's office, and it runs in perpetuity with the property. So even future owners will not be able to protest annexation when the city is ready to do that.
What's the likelihood of one property being annexed?
Well, it would be part of an area, I
Right.
imagine.
Right. So if
Yeah.
that doesn't happen, this one goes for forever. Okay, that's all I have.
Commissioner Klein and Commissioner Roden.
Just want to again compliment LAFCO's team for their amazing minutes because it makes it so helpful. I missed our September meeting and was well apprised just based off the minutes, so thank you.
Commissioner Roden?
My question is on the map, about the map on page 59. And I'm just curious about the map, right to the, I guess it's east, to the right of the subject property, is another little block of area included in the city, I guess. So I'm just wondering if you have I'm interested in the history of that. Why is it like that?
That is the location of the city's water treatment facilities. So directly adjacent to the subject parcel are the water tanks for the city, and then across the street there is the treatment facility.
Yeah, it was conveniently located. I thought it was amazing when I saw the handwritten map, and it was just like, anyway, thank you. And I would move approval of the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Thank you. Also do want to hear from Mr. Weaver before we take a formal vote. Commissioner Horsley, did you have another question?
Quick question. Is there any time period requirement for annexation on these out-of-service area agreements, or it's just open-ended?
There is not
Okay.
on these, no.
Okay, Mr. Weaver, I'm sending a request for you to unmute so that we could hear your comments. Mr. Weaver, can you hit the microphone on your Zoom? It should be on your screen. You're currently muted. Maybe his computer is off screen. Yeah. Mr. Weaver, are you still in the room?
There he is.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your patience. It's taken a long time to get to this final point in this process of getting my septic tank moved, hooked up. And I hope, all I wanted to mention was that I hope this is successful and I can end up continuing to do the project. So thank you for your time, that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver, for being here this morning. I do have a motion and a second, and I believe we are ready for a roll call vote.
Thank you. Commissioner Roden?
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney?
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Klein?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
And Chair Mulhern?
Yes.
Passes unanimous.
Thank you. We do not have any public hearing items today. We do not have any workshop items today. So we can move on to item number 7A, the new Brown Act updates under SB 707. And I believe Council Birch is going to provide an update for us.
Good morning, commissioners. I do have an update for you. This was SB 707, and it was passed into law in October. It made some, I guess they would be significant revisions, but from LAFCO's perspective, many of them don't apply because there's a definition that was created for an eligible legislative body. And so that's for counties with populations of over 30,000, cities, very large cities, and special districts with very large budgets. And so they have some additional requirements that the LAFCO won't be subject to. It's basically what they did is they kind of they addressed some of those changes that were made during the pandemic and made them permanent, relating to teleconferencing procedures. And so I'm just going to go through the ones that will apply to the LAFCO. I mean, it's possible if you have questions about some of those other requirements for the larger agencies, I can answer those, but they're not something that is going to play into the way that LAFCO has to modify its policies. So the ones that will apply to the LAFCO, there's a revised teleconferencing rule permitting remote participation by members, and it's still for just cause or in emergency circumstances. The just cause is up to 2 meetings per year for illness, caregiving, childcare, or similar things to that. And there's another circumstance called emergency circumstances. So if a sudden event prevents in-person attendance, such as illness or maybe transportation outage or something along those lines, where it's just something comes up and there's an inability to attend. There's not a limit that's set in the new law regarding the use of that emergency circumstances for remote participation. So the public must still have both in-person and remote access. So those rules haven't changed. A quorum must attend in person at the meeting location. So that requirement has remained the same. And so those are the changes for the teleconferencing. They're not significant, I don't think, from the LAFCO's perspective. Another new requirement is that each new commissioner has to receive a copy of the Brown Act upon appointment. I think the old version said something like it was recommended, or it was, but it was optional to provide a new commissioner with a copy of the Brown Act. So now that's part of what is required for a new commissioner. And there's also, I think these also came about during the pandemic, were rules about participation in social media, sort of social media interactions related to agency activities. So those kinds of limited social media interactions are allowed, and that's been made permanent. So the sunset was removed from that, as long as it doesn't constitute deliberation. So I mean, this should be fairly straightforward. I don't know how many of you are actively on social media for LAFCO purposes, but you could say, for example, post something that says, oh, there's a meeting on Monday. But if you posted something about an item that might be coming before the LAFCO for deliberation and decision, and you got into a back and forth with other commissioners, that would be considered a meeting. So you just have to be thoughtful about not interacting with one another on social media. And then the final change was a clarification regarding notice and conduct of special and emergency meetings. This was kind of a cleanup part of the bill. There were different requirements for different types of agencies and districts for special meetings or emergency meetings where, the amount of notice and how notice was provided. So that's just been standardized throughout the Brown Act for all agencies. So those, and remote participation is allowed at special meetings in the same way that they are for the teleconferencing rules that I just described. So I think kind of the next steps for staff would be to review the policies and bring to you any recommended amendments there, in order to bring our existing policies into line with these changes. And I don't know if anyone has any questions, but I'm happy to answer them.
Yes, so far I have Commissioner Ward and Commissioner Roden with questions. Commissioner Ward?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So the new commissioners or any board members need to receive the copies of the Brown Act. Are we grandfathered in, or do we need them too?
Oh, you mean the existing commissioners?
Yes.
Well, this is specifically for new commissioners. And I think the idea is that, it's one thing to talk about the Brown Act, but maybe having a new commissioner have it and be able to read through it will make compliance more likely. Okay. I don't think that this commission has any problems with this, but it is just something kind of as we put together any kind of a training packet or orientation packet for a new commissioner, that a copy of the Brown Act be part of it. I think it can be a PDF copy. I think that's a great thing for all of us to have, I have it on my desktop, on my computer, so that if there's ever any doubt, you can open it up and confirm. But you are grandfathered in, I guess, is the
Okay,
short
good.
answer.
Well, I was just concerned about how this affects smaller districts. Will it affect smaller districts?
Well, yes. In fact, all of the things that I just went through with you will apply to all districts. So the larger districts, I think it's for special districts that have a budget of over $1 million a year, they fall into that higher category, which is going to include some more onerous requirements, in translating, having the agendas be in other languages, if that is appropriate for the area. And there's just some additional requirements for those larger districts that I think could be costly.
Yeah, okay. Well, I agree with your social media stuff about back and forth. I'm not a socialite guy that uses it, but I could see that be a problem. I think all members should understand how that works, because I don't know exactly how it all works. So I think it'd be a good idea that we get copies of that.
You mean copies of that new rule?
No, the copies of our the Brown Act and how it affects us and on social media and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Summary.
So what I would say is
Yeah,
this.
summary would be good.
Okay.
Is there? Anyway,
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I'm just tired of seeing more cost to these smaller districts, though. Keeping up.
Yeah.
Now on MSR, we're going to have to ask them, did all new board members get a copy of the Brown Act? And things like that. And if
Yeah.
they didn't, what do? We make a determination.
Right. But yeah, I think at that point, the remedy is to provide them with one, of course. And then, yeah, I guess maybe, explain that they do need to, meet that requirement in the future. So all of these requirements are going to go into effect on January 1st of this year. So we'll take a look through the policies and see if there are, I think there will be a few tweaks that'll need to be made to our existing teleconferencing policy.
Commissioner Roden?
Yeah, well, just in response to what you were saying about expense, the next item on our agenda is all about that. We're going to have to spend
I'm going to bring that up.
a bunch more money to be accessible.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a question about social media, but I retract my question, so never mind.
Okay. So what I would just say about social media is to be on the safe side, I would be very conservative about social media interactions. If a commissioner is posting something on social media, I would say another commissioner shouldn't engage that post. I wouldn't like it or respond to it in any way. It's just, what it does is it creates that at least a basis for someone to be critical and say you're interacting with one another on items that could be deliberated upon and decided upon by the commission outside of a meeting. So if there's anything that's posted by a commissioner on social media, I would say just don't engage with one another on social media.
Commissioner Horsley?
You said that you have the Brown Act on your desktop. Would
Yeah.
you be able to provide us with a link to the latest Brown Act so that we could put it on our desktops?
Yes, I can do that. And what I'll do is, this was just signed in, but I think that that electronic version of it has probably been updated, but I'll make sure before I send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make sure that we have the most recent updated version of it.
Thank you. I'm not seeing any additional questions.
I have one more
Commissioner Ward?
question.
Okay.
So who's on the policy and procedure committee?
I believe it's Commissioners Gonzalez, Roden, and Mulhern. Is that
So,
correct?
so should we, this doesn't go in effect till January. When should we send it off to the policies and procedure committee?
We should probably have a meeting later this month and with the intent to consider in December so that we can have it in place by January.
Okay. All right, good.
Thank you. Thank you for the report.
All right. Welcome.
And with that, we can move on to item 7B, the Streamline Accessibility Document Service Proposal. EO Hinman, are you taking this one?
Yes, thank you. So this kind of is a follow-up from the previous item. There are new requirements that were signed into law by the Department of, and rules by the Department of Justice and the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, as well as state of California. They went into effect in April of 2024, and we did upgrade Streamline, who is our website hosting service, did upgrade the website to meet those requirements that went into effect immediately. There are new requirements that go into effect in January, or not, I guess it's the first quarter of 2026, and then the Department of Justice will be doing compliance reviews or enforcement in 2027. So this is kind of in anticipation of that. Most of the requirements that went into effect immediately were more website-based. These are more document-based, so all of our documents have to meet specific ADA standards. The most difficult of which is for the visually impaired people who have to be able to read or see maps. So Streamline has put together a package called Doc Access, which would be an add-on service to our existing website hosting service that will ensure that our documents meet the ADA standards, as well as provide a translation function for our website. So this proposal would add $126 per month to our existing $115 per month hosting fee. So it add approximately $1,500 overall to our budget line item for website and internet. That would necessitate a budget amendment for us. I do believe we have funds that are unused in our conference line item that we could shift over to cover the cost. But essentially, it would be very difficult and time-consuming for staff to ensure that the documents meet those new standards. So at $126 a month, even though it is an increase, it's going to be more cost-efficient to do it that way than for staff to do software upgrades and learn how to do that and ensure those documents meet those standards. The proposal is in your packet, starts on page 70. So staff is recommending that the commission consider and approve this, and then direct staff to bring back the budget amendment at our next meeting.
Commissioner Ward?
So this is going to affect a lot of small districts, obviously. So how do we deal with it? I mean, a cemetery district's not going to, I mean, who's really pushing a lot of this stuff too?
It's at the federal level as well as the state level.
Yeah, because of the ADA.
And I did meet with our California Special Districts Association representative last month, and I did bring this up as an issue for them to consider, I don't know, some kind of advocacy on, or, but at least to bring it to his attention that it's a real struggle for, not only for us, but for the special districts statewide, and how difficult it is to meet those transparency standards. We want to promote transparency as well as make it accessible, but it's difficult financially for sure.
And Streamline is our only option?
I was not able to find any options as comprehensive as Streamline. There are software upgrades that will be coming, probably through Adobe, but again, it would be an increased cost for those most likely, and then it would be additional staff time to ensure that everything meets those standards.
Yeah. Another expense by the federal and state governments to have us pay more. What do they call it now?
Mandate.
Mandates, yeah. Unfunded mandate.
Mm-hmm. Commissioner Horsley?
$25 customers?
Defer to legal counsel on that question.
Uma, could you repeat the question?
Does the new ADA requirements for document access apply to all small districts as well, even if they have very few constituents?
I believe that it does. I didn't research that question because for our purposes, that wouldn't be applicable, but I could do that if you'd like.
Well, I'm sure somebody will come out with something on that, but it just, you take some of these small little districts that have 25, 75 customers, and you're asking them, I mean, the government's asking them to do all of this. It's just mind-boggling, actually.
I believe that there's still that provision for hardship resolutions.
Yeah.
So special districts or small districts can consider adopting a hardship resolution for financial reasons. Basically stating they can't afford to do the websites.
Marcia, is it based on budget or number of residents or of customers?
No, but as Uma mentioned, there is a hardship waiver. And I believe the idea behind that was that there would be these situations, say like a cemetery district to me seems like a great example.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes there's almost no budget. So asking them to, you know, and Uma and I have talked a bit about the fact that this may have the opposite effect of increasing transparency, because as it becomes more expensive to post documents and information on the website, you're going to see folks posting less information on the website because each piece has to be accessible. So I have a feeling that, you know, there may be more to come on this, but for the time being, you know, this is the requirement. And I also think that there may be other Streamline is the only really effective provider at the moment, but I have a feeling that that may change. And as competition increases, we can hope that that will make the prices a little more competitive.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ward?
So, I'll wait on my question. I'll wait.
I think the time is now. Commissioner Gonzalez?
You know,
You're right.
as much as we don't like it, it seems like this thing merges. The only concern I had, and before the meeting, I asked Duma, are we kind of held captive to this service if we go somewhere else? But I'm going to assume as this progresses, I was thinking of this, that eventually there'll be more providers out there. So if we decide to go away from Streamline in the future, there'll probably be somebody else that'll pick up the slack. So I think it's an extra cost, but in contrast to we're the low-hanging fruit when it comes to a lawsuit out there. And I can see where we might get hit up, and we're going to be where people are going to deposit their maps, and we're going to be the ones that get hit up. So I would propose that we go, I guess I'd make a motion that we go with this.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward?
Do you think it's our responsibility to let these small little districts know that they can file a hardship exemption?
We do share that with them when we're doing our municipal service reviews.
Okay.
And
I'm just there's so many small little districts out there that don't even know this is coming. And I thought it'd be nice to have a little memo out saying you can file a hardship exemption, just so they're aware of it.
we can certainly share that with our agency, yes.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second, and we have no members of the public in the room or on Zoom. So if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Ward,
Yes.
Commissioner Klein,
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Roden,
Yes.
and Chair Mulhern.
Yes. Thank you.
A vote when you really don't have any choice.
We can now move on to item 8, information and report. We'll start with the work plan, current and future proposals.
Thank you. Well, so we already talked about it, but we did process an administrative review of an extension of service for sewer connection from the city of Fort Bragg to serve a single-family residence with a failing septic system. We also received the full application from the Russian River Flood Control District for annexation of the Redwood Valley County Water District. And we have routed the application for agency comments into the city or to the county offices to initiate the tax share process. I just want to note the application will remain incomplete until a tax share agreement is adopted by both the Board of Supervisors and the Russian River Flood Control District Board. I did want to add that we, during the public hearing process for adoption of the resolution of application that was done by the Russian River Flood Control District Board, we did comment on their negative declaration as a responsible agency during that process. LAFCO will consider the CEQA document as part of the processing of this application, and it will come, CEQA findings will come to the commission as part of the application public hearing. The Anderson Valley CSD and the Elk CSD applications are still on hold, both still waiting for a tax share agreement. I did speak with the auditor controller a couple of weeks ago about the Elk CSD, and she is trying to move that one forward. We have nothing new to report for the Ukiah pre-application for reorganization. And for the work plan, we continue to work through the administrative drafts of the City of Willits and the Mendocino Coast Rec and Park District. The City of Point Arena is conducting an internal review of its administrative draft MSR sphere update, and we anticipate receiving their comments in the next week or so. It would be probably take us staff a couple of weeks to go through that document and prepare it for workshop. So the potential is there for December or maybe January for a public workshop with the commission. We're also prioritizing distribution of information requests to the fire and EMS agencies in the next couple of weeks. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Ward.
Why didn't the city annex their corporate yard when they did all the other ones?
The corporate yard is a new acquisition by the
it
city.
is. They've always been down there, though. Oh, on Carousel.
On Carousel Lane.
Oh, it's a new. I was thinking there was the one over there by the airport.
And we do anticipate that coming in the coming month or two. That application would be annexation of a city-owned property. I believe the city council is considering that the resolution of application this.
Seemed like it would have been nice to do it all at the same. What am I now?
Commissioner Horsley.
No, your corporate yard on the airport.
It's a different, thank you. It's a different subject. If we could just keep order so that we can answer questions. Thank you.
I just wanted to
Horsley.
say, when I first got here, there was a huge long list of work plan items, and you've done such a fabulous job of bringing that down to such a smaller, I know there's probably more down there, but compared to what it was like 3 pages of MSRs that needed to be done, and it's so nice to see it finally getting done and getting to this point. You should be very proud of you and your staff for accomplishing all that in just a few years. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not seeing any additional hands up for this item. Do we have any correspondence we need to report?
We received a letter of resignation from alternate Commissioner Zakaria, who will be, who now sits on the civil grand jury. So we will be initiating that process for a alternate public member soon.
Thank you. And would you like to talk about CALAFCO, either the regular, Commissioner Klein.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Question for staff, what is the process for finding that alternate member?
We publish a notice of the vacancy, and then we post an application online, and so they can submit the application within that deadline period, and then the commission has the ability to interview interested folks.
Thank you.
Thank you. CALAFCO.
I can report that the CALAFCO conference went very well. It was down in San Diego, and 3 commissioners attend, as well as myself. can report out that Kevin Goss, the board members that were elected for the northern region were Kevin Goss as for a county member, and he sits on the Plumas County Board of Supervisors. And Ricky Heck is the district representative from Nevada County, and she sits on the Nevada Irrigation District Board of Directors. I don't know if the other commissioners have anything to report on the conference.
Or any commissioners that were at the conference, is there anything you'd like to report? Commissioner Klein?
I didn't have anything to report, just that it was a good learning experience to see how other LAFCOs operate and just expand my knowledge bases.
Okay. Thank you.
Could
Yes,
Oh.
please do.
I really enjoyed the LAFCO 101. They did it in the form of a game show, but it was kind of nice to get a little refresher on that. It's almost like same information presented a different way, but it is kind of nice to get that info in at least a funner way. It's kind of a dry subject in some areas. So
LAFCO, we really. Commissioner Roden.
I don't have anything to add. I also, it wasn't like I learned a lot of new things, but especially the last session was about ag land and the role of LAFCOs in preserving ag. And the Ukiah Valley is, doing everything the way, we're kind of ahead of the game in terms of preserving, at least, the city to recognize the importance of ag land and open space. So that was reassuring. Yeah, say that.
Thank you. Okay, I'm not seeing any additional comments, so we can move on to item 8D.
Thank you. Staff has been very busy responding to Public Records Act requests. We've had quite a number of them, and Council Birch has assisted with that process. We also, I did a brief interview with Western Cities Magazine as a follow-up on the Western Hills annexation article that they are writing. So I'm not sure which magazine that will come out in, but I think it's their next issue. Already mentioned that we're initiating the alternate public member, and when we do that notice, we will send it out to all of the commissioners, and it's I think it's important to help spread the word that we are looking for an alternate public member. Encourage folks to apply through the website. Met with the CSDA representative, and the CALAFCO conference was, I think, well attended, and I think it was well done. And they did adopt the bylaws that were proposed, and then there will be follow-up amendments to those bylaws in the next year as well, as they continue to refine and refocus. I think that's all I have.
Commissioner Ward?
Are you keeping track of the cost for the lawsuit? Or public record deal, keeping that a separate item?
We are tracking our Public Records Act requests separately.
And the money that's involved in it? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Excuse me. With that, I believe we can move on to committee reports. Are there any committees that met and have a report? I don't believe there are, so it sounds like we'll have one. Okay. Commissioner reports, comments, or questions? Commissioner Ward.
Yes, back in September, it was reported that the Coast Hospital was going to be paying their dues. Have you checked to see if that's happening?
I do know that they received their bill because I did get questions about that, and so I believe the answer is yes.
And what's the amount of their fees? Quite a bit, isn't it?
I think it was around 10,000.
10,000?
Yeah, 10,000.
So
I can double check that number and send it to you.
That'll help the little districts. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Okay, seeing none, the commission will adjourn to closed session regarding anticipated litigation. At this time, I would just like to call for public comment. We have no public in the room, and we have no public on Zoom, but the commission will adjourn and relocate to conference room B. Yes, thank you.
B is the one over there. Okay. You've lost so much control, I can't believe it. It's our shortest meeting of the year.
A beautiful, clean river doesn't start here. It starts here. What we put down our storm drains goes straight from our streets into our local creeks. Simple changes can make a big impact. Like when you wash your car, the best solution is washing at a professional car wash. But if you wash at home, divert wash water to an area where it can soak into the ground, like a planter strip. Also, empty your bucket of dirty wash water in a sink. The wash water will make its way to the treatment plant, where it is cleaned. You probably know how to pick up your pet's poop when you are out on a walk. After all, it's the neighborly thing to do. But what about the pet waste in your backyard? Pick it up regularly, and especially before rain or irrigation water washes any of it into a backyard drain. Your pet's poo is full of bacteria and nutrients that can contaminate our creeks. Scoop the poop, bag it, and put it in your garbage. When tending to your yard or garden, check the weather and prevent over-irrigation. Runoff of fertilizer, herbicides, landscape materials, compost piles, and leaf debris pollute our creeks. Remember, timing is everything. Pick up any litter or trash that may get into the streets. If you grab it before water or wind arrives, it doesn't have a chance of ending up in our creeks. It's up to each of us to take care of our creeks and rivers. They're ours to protect. Find out more at streets2creeks.org.
Are you prepared? We're the Office of Emergency Services, and we're committed to providing the most up-to-date and accurate information so that you and your family can stay safe during an emergency. Part of being prepared is knowing your hazards and taking proper precautions. Visit mendoready.org. On the Know Your Hazards page, you can find hazards for where you work, where you live, and where your kids go to school. On the Plan and Prepare page, you'll find a plan template. It's important to know what you're going to do, what you're going to take with you, how you're going to communicate, where you're going to go, and how to get there.
One great way to prepare is to pack a go bag. Each member of your family should have their own go bag. Visit our website, mendoready.org, to get a list of items that should be in your go bag.
Gathering and organizing important documents before an emergency is an important part of preparedness. So visit mendoready.org today, where you can find a list of important documents that you should have ready near your go bag in case you have to evacuate.
Not every emergency requires people to evacuate. An emergency kit will have supplies for you to remain self-sufficient for 72 hours. Find a list of supplies for disaster kits on our website, mendoready.org.
A prepared community is a resilient community that will recover faster from disasters. So take some time today, visit our website, get yourself prepared so you can be Mendo ready.
A beautiful, clean river doesn't start here. It starts here. What we put down our storm drains goes straight from our streets into our local creeks. Simple changes can make a big impact. Like when you wash your car, the best solution is washing at a professional car wash. But if you wash at home, divert wash water to an area where it can soak into the ground, like a planter strip. Also, empty your bucket of dirty wash water in a sink. The wash water will make its way to the treatment plant, where it is cleaned. You probably know how to pick up your pet's poop when you're out on a walk. After all, it's the neighborly thing to do. But what about the pet waste in your backyard? Pick it up regularly, and especially before rain or irrigation water washes any of it into a backyard drain. Your pet's poo is full of bacteria and nutrients that can contaminate our creeks. Scoop the poo, bag it, and put it in your garbage. When tending to your yard or garden, check the weather and prevent over-irrigation. Runoff of fertilizer, herbicides, landscape materials, compost piles, and leaf debris pollute our creeks. Remember, timing is everything. Pick up any litter or trash that may get into the streets. If you grab it before water or wind arrives, it doesn't have a chance of ending up in our creeks. It's up to each of us to take care of our creeks and rivers. They're ours to protect. Find out more at streetstocreeks.org.
Are you prepared? We're the Office of Emergency Services, and we're committed to providing the most up-to-date and accurate information so that you and your family can stay safe during an emergency. Visit MendoReady.org. It's our one-stop shop for emergency information. You can sign up for emergency alerts, find your pre-established evacuation zone on our current emergencies map, and find hazard and preparedness information.
Imagine you're faced with a disaster such as a wildfire and you're ordered to evacuate. I'll bet you wish you had more time in that moment. Now's your chance to buy yourself that time. Sign up for Nixle and Mendo Alerts on our website, MendoReady.org. Do it today.
If you want your family to be as resilient as possible, it's important to take some time today and visit MendoReady.org, where you can look up your pre-established evacuation zones on our current emergencies map. You can also find important tools to help maintain your situational awareness, such as the Alert California wildfire cameras and the Caltrans road conditions cameras. We hope you'll take some time today to prepare so that your family can be Mendo ready. Thank you.
A beautiful, clean river doesn't start here. It starts here. What we put down our storm drains goes straight from our streets into our local creeks. Simple changes can make a big impact. Like when you wash your car, the best solution is washing at a professional car wash. But if you wash at home, divert wash water to an area where it can soak into the ground, like a planter strip. Also, empty your bucket of dirty wash water in a sink. The wash water will make its way to the treatment plant, where it is cleaned. You probably know how to pick up your pet's poop when you are out on a walk. After all, it's the neighborly thing to do. But what about the pet waste in your backyard? Pick it up regularly, and especially before rain or irrigation water washes any of it into a backyard drain. Your pet's poo is full of bacteria and nutrients that can contaminate our creeks. Scoop the poo, bag it, and put it in your garbage. When tending to your yard or garden, check the weather and prevent over-irrigation. Runoff of fertilizer, herbicides, landscape materials, compost piles, and leaf debris pollute our creeks. Remember, timing is everything. Pick up any litter or trash that may get into the streets. If you grab it before water or wind arrives, it doesn't have a chance of ending up in our creeks. It's up to each of us to take care of our creeks and rivers. They're ours to protect. Find out more at streetstocreeks.org.
Are you prepared? We're the Office of Emergency Services, and we're committed to providing the most up-to-date and accurate information so that you and your family can stay safe during an emergency. Part of being prepared is knowing your hazards and taking proper precautions. Visit mendoready.org. On the Know Your Hazard page, you can find hazards for where you work, where you live, and where your kids go to school. On the Plan and Prepare page, you'll find a plan template. It's important to know what you're going to do, what you're going to take with you, how you're going to communicate, where you're going to go, and how to get there.
One great way to prepare is to pack a go bag. Each member of your family should have their own go bag. Visit our website, mendoready.org, to get a list of items that should be in your go bag.
Gathering and organizing important documents before an emergency is an important part of preparedness. So visit mendoready.org today, where you can find a list of important documents that you should have ready near your go bag in case you have to evacuate.
Not every emergency requires people to evacuate. An emergency kit will have supplies for you to remain self-sufficient for 72 hours. Find a list of supplies for disaster kits on our website, mendoready.org.
A prepared community is a resilient community that will recover faster from disasters. So take some time today, visit our website, get yourself prepared so you can be Mendo ready.
A beautiful, clean river doesn't start here. It starts here. What we put down our storm drains goes straight from our streets into our local creeks. Simple changes can make a big impact. Like when you wash your car, the best solution is washing at a professional car wash. But if you wash at home, divert wash water to an area where it can soak into the ground, like a planter strip. Also, empty your bucket of dirty wash water in a sink. The wash water will make its way to the treatment plant, where it is cleaned. You probably know how to pick up your pet's poop when you're out on a walk. After all, it's the neighborly thing to do. But what about the pet waste in your backyard? Pick it up regularly, and especially before rain or irrigation water washes any of it into a backyard drain. Your pet's poo is full of bacteria and nutrients that can contaminate our creeks. Scoop the poo, bag it, and put it in your garbage. When tending to your yard or garden, check the weather and prevent over-irrigation. Runoff of fertilizer, herbicides, landscape materials, compost piles, and leaf debris pollute our creeks. Remember, timing is everything. Pick up any litter or trash that may get into the streets. If you grab it before water or wind arrives, it doesn't have a chance of ending up in our creeks. It's up to each of us to take care of our creeks and rivers. They're ours to protect. Find out more at streetstocreeks.org.
Are you prepared? We're the Office of Emergency Services, and we're committed to providing the most up-to-date and accurate information so that you and your family can stay safe during an emergency. Visit MendoReady.org. It's our one-stop shop for emergency information. You can sign up for emergency alerts, find your pre-established evacuation zone on our current emergencies map, and find hazard and preparedness information.
Imagine you're faced with a disaster such as a wildfire and you're ordered to evacuate. I'll bet you wish you had more time in that moment. Now's your chance to buy yourself that time. Sign up for Nixle and Mendo Alerts on our website, mendoready.org. Do it today.
If you want your family to be as resilient as possible, it's important to take some time today and visit mendoready.org, where you can look up your pre-established evacuation zones on our current emergencies map. You can also find important tools to help maintain your situational awareness, such as the Alert California wildfire cameras and the Caltrans road conditions cameras. We hope you'll take some time today to prepare so that your family can be Mendo ready. Thank you.
Go for it.
Okay, we're back from closed session and we have no reportable action. The meeting is adjourned.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Do we have a big agenda next meeting?